Ding dong, the witch is dead. It is an end of an era. One of the most clickbaity, obese, anti-Nintendo retards on the platform, ReviewTechUSA, has officially deleted his million sub account. He's done. He's finished. He's not going to come back. And if he tries, he's not going to have the same kind of relevancy he used to have. For the past several years, the only reason anybody listened to this guy at all was because, like, oh, well, he has a million subs. Well, that doesn't mean anything, okay? Let's be honest with ourselves. It doesn't matter how many subs you got. It doesn't matter what your views are. It doesn't matter, like, who watches your content and who takes you seriously. If the stuff you're coming out with isn't true, nobody's going to take you seriously. And that was an issue that ReviewTechUSA and his ilk have had over the past decade. Where once people used to take these people super seriously because, oh man, this guy, he's a big name on YouTube. I think he's involved in this really legit organization that reviews tech in the United States. I bet he's a big deal, and he's just not. Like, he's just some dude, right? He's just some obese neckbeard living with his parents and, like, doing crazy copious amounts of drugs, right? He's Nick Rekieta without the trust fund, essentially. He's a complete failure in everything he set out to do, right? He couldn't hold down a real job. He couldn't handle the YouTube channel. He couldn't handle like streaming. He couldn't handle like his music career where he just plagiarized. I'm sorry, like emulated a bunch of rap tracks and tried to mumble over them. Like, Review Tech USA is a complete and total joke. And over the past several years, we have seen him descend into irrelevancy. The way it looks now is that the only people who are defending Review Tech USA are the kind of people who detest Darkside Phil so much that they are willing to side with Review Tech USA over him. And I do think this has been true for quite some time because I'm looking at all the really pro Review Tech USA content out there, and I do see a lot of it. And all of it is in relation to Phil, right? This is the reason Review Tech USA and other people like him have been so fixated on like attacking Darkside Phil and attacking Chris Chan and attacking all these other creators. Like, they want to keep the heat off of themselves, right? They want to pretend that they aren't like Phil, they aren't like the other YouTube grifters, right? But they're either just as bad or worse without fail. And I would argue the entire detractor community is like this. Like, all of them are like this. Review Tech USA tried to use Darkside Phil to deflect from his own real legitimate problems, and it ended up completely backfiring, right? He's being covered by drama YouTubers all the time. Kino Casino has made him a regular feature on their show. You have like all these people who cannot stand Rich, and I've made it very clear over the years, my discussions of Review Tech USA, that my feelings are completely and utterly like anti-dickers. Okay, I don't like Rich. I have no respect for him. I don't like anything he's done. He's never been relevant, right? He has always been a clickbaity retard, right? I think he abused his wife. I think he neglects his kids. I think he treats his parents like crap. I think he abuses and manipulates his fans, right? Like, to me, there's so much more wrong with Review Tech USA than just being a bad review tech channel. Okay, like, there's just so much to unpack here and so much to talk about. And it's going to be really interesting to see just how this situation develops because I'm sure Review Tech USA isn't really going to go anywhere, right? I don't think the channel is being deleted is really going to impact his legacy online at all. I imagine he's still going to have his like inner circle of people He's going to like try and do something else, moving away from the scene, but like this is the only reason he's relevant, right? This is what he's been doing for the past like what, like 10 years, 12, 15. Like he's technically like that guy with the glasses personality, right? Like not a lot of people know this about him, but he was on board with the Blizzard Thumbs people, right? You know, he used to work for Angry Joe. So seeing this like downfall is really, really interesting and really exciting because it really showcases like the inevitability of failure when it comes to these online YouTube personalities, right? You know, Review Tech USA kept the grift going for a long time, longer than most people, but eventually it started to catch up with him. Eventually his audience started to turn on him, you know, first with the stupid jokes, and then there was the big cheese crusader thing, and then like he became a meme, right? People began to make fun of him more than actually talk about tech. And that that behavior, that culture has turned him into like one of the biggest lolcows on YouTube right now, I would say. And it remains to be seen if that's going to remain to be true or if there's going to be some radical shift, if he really is going to stay offline. But at the very least, the YouTube channel is gone. It seems like he did keep his word, that he did delete it, and he's deleted the only thing that really had him any relevancy at all, right? He could have sold it, he could have done all this stuff to it, right? Like it could have been like, you know, a legacy channel, or he could have like done something with it, but no, he gave up everything. I don't know, to be a degenerate, I guess. Who knows? But it's really, really good to see that people eventually turned on Rich, right? People began to see him for the lying sack of shit he actually was. And I do think, hopefully, that this will extend to other personalities in the sphere, right? You know, younger people who are doing the same thing and are getting the same kind of attention, right? People like the Mish, right, for example, right? You know, hyperbolic, insane individuals who will not work real jobs in order to pursue this fantasy of being an online streamer or a personality, and it's just going to completely blow up in their faces, right? Embarrassingly so. You know, with the kind of content that like Rich put out, it would have been really easy for him to work a normal job, make like $60,000 a year or whatever, 60, 70,000, 80, like working, like making a normal wage and then doing YouTube on the aside, and then just accumulating wealth, right? But he didn't do that because like working is work. Oh, like uh Review Tech USA and people like him were always, 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 always doomed to failure.